One John Deere scraper. That's all of the equipment Max Jantz had when he began in 1974.
I bought a 4620 John Deere tractor. I went to Montezuma State Bank, and back in those days, you could just go in and borrow money on your family's name. I asked the banker if he'd loan me $15,500, and he said, sure, I will. My dad wasn't real fond of dirt movers. My dad said, there's one thing lower than a window peaker, and that's a dirt mover. Then when I got the opportunity to buy this tractor and get into the dirt construction part, he wasn't very much for it. He said, you got a good job at co-op, why would you do that? So I guess that was kind of worked out in my favor, I guess, in the long run.
From those modest beginnings, Max went to work, starting Max Jantz Excavating, moving dirt in southwest Kansas.
We were very aware of my dad's business throughout our childhood. When we answered our home phone, which is the same phone number that this company has now, I had to answer the phone, Max Jantz Excavating, this is Heather. And I was probably 10 years old. But we knew that we were expected to answer the phone that way and be respectful and professional on the phone, even as children, right? Because this was our dad's business. This was our livelihood.
For him, he had to be on the road about full time. If he wanted to have a job, he had a bunch of work in Guyman, Oklahoma. So, it was pretty much get up early in the morning, he'd drive down there, and by the time he'd get home, maybe get home for supper with us, and that was about the only time he'd seen. I was about probably right in the midst of when the company was really hitting its growth.
I remember a few instances, feed yard would take me out by a piece of ground and said, do you think you can build a feed yard on this? I'm like, sure we can. And, they couldn't really see it, but I could.
The company has grown up and alongside the region's expanding livestock and agricultural industries and evolved into MJE, now an ag construction and equipment leader with projects and products across the country.
I remember being at Supreme Feed Yard and seeing the coolest bunks I'd ever seen in my life. I go, how'd they do this? And they poured it in place, and he's like, Max Jantz did this.
Well, I started our first project of growth at Pokey with Max in 1989. In fact, Max was driving the four-wheel drive John Deere pulling a scraper. So he was there on site every day driving the tractor himself.
Back in the early 90s, I was working for a company, and we decided to expand the feed yard. The company I worked for was a pretty fussy company. They'd been in business for a long time, and they're well known and recognized, and so they liked things done right. And of course, they did a great job for us, and that just started the relationship.
What was so cool about Max and the crew was, how hands-on and just how much they know about our industry. And we had never done a project like this before, and this was back when we did the actual construction was in 1992. So every bit that the Jantzes did, from the dirt work, that's still in good shape, but the bunks, it hasn't moved a bit.
We were at Cimarron Feeders, which is down in the Oklahoma Panhandle, and that would have been 96. Max Jantz had just completed a big expansion, probably about a 18 to 20,000 head expansion on the east feed yard there when I arrived, and it was like Cadillac compared to the old stuff.
I remember the first time that we were doing that expansion in garden, I said, goodness, do we really need to do all this? Max, this thing is, it's getting kind of expensive, and I'll never forget this. He said, well, Tom, 20 years from now, I don't want you to call me up on the phone bitching at me. And I understood. So, and that's why, they just did it right.
In all of that time, we've never taken for granted the relationships Max built with our neighbors that grew into partnerships within our region and beyond.
Max set this business up on relationships. A lot of these customers that we still have today were Max's buddies, and they're not just clients to me, they're my friends.
That's how you do business, is you create a relationship with your clients.
I also think my dad is just a guy that people can connect with. He's a natural charmer. And I think he's passed that on to Aaron and I.
What he started and what everybody's told me about how respected he is and how he took care of them, it's something that I have to learn every day and look back and, realize that I have to meet those same expectations, that, people didn't look at him just as a businessman, they looked at him as a friend. There's a lot of stress that can go along with that. And, you can kind of get burdened by it, but also you can be proud of it and say, hey, it's your time to take over and carry on that legacy.
After 40 years of Max's stewardship, it was time for the next generation to take the reins, keeping a family business thriving while putting their own stamp on it. Aaron and Heather maintained the continuity of excellence while transforming MJE into a dynamic enterprise, specializing in turnkey ag construction projects.
Max never really had a hobby. His hobby was work. And so for when he truly did decide to retire and step away, I know it was hard for him.
It was an interesting transition because you really saw Aaron and Heather grow.
Yeah, for me, it's like nothing's changed. You just, instead of talking to Max, you're talking to Heather and Justin and Aaron, and the quality is just as good. The service is just good.
Second generation is a different game. I've seen a lot of second generationers not be able to perform, and the last 14 years, Aaron's been our contact. He made the company better. He's very, very smart and talented on how he lays stuff out. He's just really good at it.
I knew they could handle it, but I didn't know they could grow it the way they have.
It has made me proud for Max and the legacy he has in the industry is that he started the business and now his Aaron and Heather are involved, and Justin and some of the others appear to be just like family to him, and so it's been nice to see that evolve over the last 30 years and become the success it has.
Early on in 2005, I was actually working with Max, and Aaron was in the picture as well, and recently got more involved with Heather, and I know she has a hidden talent. She does grant writing. It's very helpful.
She's really been focused on sitting on boards that benefit MJE, obviously, but then community, state organizations and projects.
I think one of the things that stands out a lot about this organization is their community partnerships and their willingness to be a great community partner. And not just in their home community of Montezuma, but all across Southwest Kansas and the region.
Working with my brother over the last 20 years has been incredible.
It's great. We get along really well. We have different personalities, which I think works really good.
We have the occasional disagreement, but I think we're good at presenting a united front to our employees and to our customers.
There's a level-headed one, which is me, and then you have the other ones, which can be a little bit on the hothead side. But that is great. If everybody agreed all the time, we wouldn't be successful.
We're good at talking things through, brainstorming. We make a good team.
It works good. We understand that, we're family. We run a family business, but at the end of it, we should always be able to walk away and go have a family dinner together.
Heather and Aaron have taken that and expanded probably beyond anything Max would ever dream of.
I don't think any of us really thought we would have a 50-year anniversary. Not because we wasn't dedicated to it, but it's just something you don't think about.
In all that time, we've never forgotten our roots or the people who helped us reach this milestone. We know our partners are responsible for our success, and they're the reason our 240 employees go to work every day. We're proud to have them as our clients and more honored to call them friends.
For one, we trust them. What they say they're going to do, they do. I know that when they come in, it's going to be done right, and that's you don't find that with many other companies.
It's almost like we're in the family. They're very helpful.
They understand what the customer needs, and they understand what they're there to do.
The professionalism that you get with MJE and the expertise is not comparable, in my opinion.
They're a big company, but they still able to pick up the phone and answer when I call them. And I shouldn't even put this on camera. I don't even know if we price them out anymore. We just just go with them because they're very available and able to get the job done, have a big enough crew where they can come in, do the job right, and they do great work.
But I think it's not only how good these people are, it's how engaged they are, and they have fun. I mean, they have fun with what they're doing, and they're pumped up, and they give good advice. And if you have a problem, they're there to take care of it. So when I see MJE, I think excellence. And it's not only just excellence in their craftsmanship, but the people.
What does the next 50 years look like? For sure, there will be innovation, new processes, and state-of-the-art tech we haven't begun to think about. But a lot is going to look the same.
Oh, 50 more years. I think there's going to be such advances on the technology side that be blown away in probably 20 years what's going to happen.
We've doubled our employees. We've doubled our workforce. Just our jobs in general that we can do at one time is night and day from where it was 15 years ago, and I foresee that continuing to grow.
I really want the MJE legacy to continue for the betterment of our area and the betterment of our family and our friends and our employees.
Guys, just keep doing the same thing you're doing.
With another generation of leaders dedicated to quality and integrity, we'll be building structures that last, helping our neighbors thrive, and connecting with the land and the agriculture that sustains us.
I just appreciate all of our clients and customers that got us here.
No, I would just like to congratulate the entire Jantz organization, Max, Aaron, Heather, Justin, for just a tremendous 50 years. The need to have good cattle handling and good husbandry. You guys are at the forefront of it all.
No question. Congratulations, 50 years. That's amazing. That says a lot about that family.
I don't know how I could congratulate them enough for the 50 years and know how grateful I am that they are around. And by the way, Max, if you ever hear this, why we're 24 years into the last expansion when we first built bought the yard, and I don't have any complaints, Max. At 20 some years already, it's still staying together really well. Thank you. I've learned a lot from them.
Congratulations, and proud for all of them. Maybe they're just getting started, right?
Yeah, well, congratulations on 50 years and another 50 plus, and look forward to continuing that close working relationship.
First of all, I want to congratulate Max for 50 years. That's an incredible feat. Max, you should be really proud of what you've accomplished there with your family and Justin included. And Max would be really, excited that these young people are expanding this company and continuing to grow it.
Hats off to them, and congratulations on 50 years in business. If they get rid of that Hendrickson guy, they'd probably be better off.
I want to wish a very happy birthday, not just only to Heather, but to MJE, and looking forward to the next 50 that we'll get to work together through the city of Dodge City.
I just hope that we can continue to support agricultural construction in Southwest Kansas, because I really believe in the mission of growing this region and feeding the nation, and we're a part of that.
Thank you, Dad, for your leadership, your trust, and just always believing in us and giving us the opportunity to take this to the place you always wanted it to be.
There was some tough times here in the dirt construction, but we stayed in it and got through it. I feel very fortunate, and we wouldn't be here today if it wouldn't be for Heather and Aaron. I think it's everybody's dream. It's a great feeling, and they're taking good care of me now, so I've got the best of both worlds. Heather's daughter Gwen was with me one day, and she'd have been about 10 or 11, and we pulled up here to the office, and she said, "Grandpa, I'm going to own this someday." So I made it. I think I did.
Thank you for helping us build something special for 50 years.